All right, we are online. Hey, everybody. Everybody. Are you everybody? Is that who you are? I don't know if you're everybody. Maybe you are everybody. Hey, guys, tonight we're going to be talking about leadership tips. And I am joined tonight by my amazing confidant, Joe, who's our VP. And we're going to talk about leadership. And I'm going to bring Joe right on here. And let's see if we can get Joe online with us right here. There he is. Hey,
There he
Joe.
is. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hello.
All right. Well, hey, guys, we're excited to chat with you tonight. You know, like I said earlier, if you saw my little my live stream, look, our our businesses our businesses are absolutely limited by our leadership. Now, some people don't think that's the case, but guess what? That's the case. So look, if your business collapses every time you get busy, you don't really have a busy problem. What you have is you have a systems problem. And you know, like when work picks up, most contractors, what do? They fall apart. Their quality goes down. Their callbacks to warranty work piles up, and customers get frustrated and overwhelmed, and then the profits just they vanish. They're gone. And that doesn't happen because you're busy. It's because your business wasn't built to handle busy. And what you need predictable systems, and you need these things. And where does all that start? It starts with leadership, is where it starts with. So you and I are the lids on our businesses. You and I are the lids on our businesses. So if you think about this, this is a hard truth, okay? The business that you have is the business that you deserve. Or maybe it's not the one you deserve, it's the business that you've earned. It's not the leads, it's not the leads, it's not the people, it's you. It's you and I. It all starts with you and I. So if you are oh, hey, we got Conrad online. Hey buddy, what's up? Glad you're here with us. And hey, we've got Daniel Integrity Painting. He doesn't have a last name. He just has Integrity Painting. Is
Daniel
his last name.
Integrity. Yeah.
Daniel, I'm glad you guys are here. So we're going to talk about what it takes to be. Oh, and there's the most amazing woman in the world, Rochelle. Hey, baby. Oscar's with us. Hey, Oscar. Glad you're here tonight as well. All right, Daniel, I know your last name. Daniel's like, my last name's Thayer. Yeah, I know. So here's the deal. Let me see if we can get a better. There we go. Can you see us better now? There you go. It all comes down to leadership. And we got Zach Neal on here today. Man, we got all the good old boys on here tonight. I love it. And you know what I'm actually drinking tonight? I'm drinking a zero sugar Dr. Pepper. I know it's not the good old Topo Chico, but the right Topo Chico I have right now is this plastic bottle. It tastes terrible when it's in a plastic bottle. Topo Chico has to be in a glass bottle. So I'm just going to drink my Dr. Pepper. So leadership. Now, we just recently got back from a leadership retreat in Cozumel, Mexico, with some amazing people, and it was a transformative event. It was a transformation. It was actually a vacation as well. We worked on our businesses in the morning. Then we went and hung out at the beach and the island and the catamaran, did snorkeling, all kinds of crazy stuff. We saw a lot of sharks. Hey, Daniel, even not Daniel Thayer, but Daniel Armstrong. He touched a shark while we were snorkeling. That was pretty cool. But so we took a week. We took our wives, and we went down to Mexico, and we grew as leaders. We focused on leadership growth, and we did a lot of reflection. And everybody came back from the trip with a different leader mindset. Now, one of the guys told me, Jason, I don't want to ever vacation any other way. Okay, I like it, because we get to work on a business in the morning, get to vacation, but we get to hang out with people that think like us, people we have stuff in common with, and because a lot of business owners, look, it can be lonely. Who can you talk to? A lot of times you start a business, you start running a business, all the things in your life that you have to deal with, you don't have as much in common with your old friends anymore. Not that your old friends are bad. It's just the things are different. So back on track here. Leadership. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about that for this whole hour. I want you to have some clarity by the end of this event. I want you to have some clarity on how you can be a better leader. Now, I'm going to grab a note here. Bear with me just a second here. So, by the way, Joe, I didn't actually hardly say anything yet. But Joe, you've been with me for 10 years. You're my VP.
10 years in April.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And so tonight we're just going to have some honest talk about leadership. Okay. And Joe thanks God every day that I'm not the same leader I was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Lots of therapy, 12-step programs. There's all there. Yeah.
So, but Joe, you've helped me develop leaders at Phillips Home Improvements, and nowadays you're also helping develop leaders through Contractor Freedom. And hey, want to give a shout out to we got Christopher and Walter with us. Hey guys, thank you for being here tonight. You're going to get some tips out of this. I promise. This is going to be worth your time tonight. So, but Joe, for me, after the retreat in Mexico, it was obvious to me that the pressure that leaders feel, not just in their business, but in their homes. From what you see from your end, where do you see that that clarity tends to break down in leadership on the team?
Clarity, it breaks down in the most simplest forms, and I don't want to give a Sunday school answer here as communication. I think one of the things that we never talk about, we haven't talked about, and we probably should more and more, is team leadership. Because individual contractors, in order for them to scale their business, they've got to bring on other leaders, not just employees, in order to scale. So, but I just think over, my career with you, and there were times when, you weren't in contractor prison, but you sure were willing, and just getting busy, and, stuff starts slipping through the cracks, and it talks about it in traction. Maybe we put off a one-on-one, or maybe we did this. And what happens is the clarity starts to fade, just like methodology leaks. Sometimes the clarity can leak as well. And so I think, the communication is huge with clarity. Like me, we're in different positions here. And I talk about that dynamic a lot, because I think it's really important for guys who are scaling their business, who want to get a sales manager, who want to get a production manager. Not a project manager, but a production manager that can lead a project manager. And so, I talk about it from a different perspective of following a great leader and being a leader by myself. But the clarity breaks down in communication, because if Jason doesn't have good clarity with me, and you leave me to my own devices, the only funny thing is, say, well, I was unsupervised. Things can get fuzzy. But one of the things that stays true, and you guys hear me talk about this all the time. If I am anchored by our vision. Once the vision is clear, once there's 100% clarity on the vision, the other stuff, other tasks or things like that where there's not clarity, but I'm always anchored by the vision. And if there's clarity on the vision, that is the anchor that kind of keeps me, I don't want to say grounded, but and I hope I'm articulating this right. But, we get busy, and then, a lot of times decisions I make are, okay, does this align with our vision? Is the vision clear?
So, Joe, let me ask you a question. Let me interrupt you for a second. Okay, that's a good topic. I'm glad you brought that up.
Uh-huh.
When a lot of times if you're running a company that's 1 million, $2 million,
Mhm.
somewhere in there, it's hard to see the impact and the importance of vision. So would you take a moment and say from your point, like why is vision important? Because beyond, so I like to say, why would someone want to work for you beyond the paycheck? And so you've got a story about vision.
Yeah. So some of you've heard the story before. When I joined Phillips through just a series of circumstances. Um, uh, Jason had lost his sales manager. If he wants to tell that story, he can. I was relatively new to the team. And I just sent Jason an email. I said, Jason, you don't know me. I've met you once in my interview, but look at my resume again. I have experience with people. I have experience with leadership, and I have experience with sales. So if you'll just revisit that, and I said I would love to help you with the transition, and that was basically the email. Well, once we end up talking like 4 days later, about 4 hours on Jason's beautiful patio. Many of you have been out there right by the fire pit, and we sat out there and talked. And Jason cast a vision in this 2016. And can I tell you this? In 2016, Contractor Freedom was already a calling on Jason's life. It was already a calling on Jason's life. He thought it might be named something else, but that was in 2000. That was 10 years ago when he shared the calling of Contractor Freedom. And I thought, man, I can latch on to that. But the better vision was, he said, and y'all, again, many of you heard me tell this story or some version of it, but he says, Joe, I can come home at 11:30 every morning and count checks and be done. But he said, what I want to do is I want to grow this business because I want to provide more jobs. The people deserve more jobs. And many of you know his story of working for toxic company, toxic business. I want to provide more jobs. He says, I want to help more business partners. He says, but most of all, I want to help more homeowners. So if I could narrow the vision that I walked away, and not once did he say, this is my vision. He just was just sharing his heart with me. We talked for 4 hours. We talked about God. We talked about leadership. We talked about John Maxwell, my favorite. We talked about sales. We talked about so many. And I thought, man, this guy is going places and I want to go with him. So, in every decision I make, uh, if I have to make a decision, I base it on that vision. Am I serving the homeowner? Am I making it a better job for a teammate? Am I helping the subcontractor? It all falls under there, and it makes the decisions very, very easy. But anyway, y'all hear me share this all the time, that just because of who I am and who I work for, and how long I've worked for, and many of you guys, I get recruited all the time. Seriously, maybe once or twice a year, and they throw stupid money. A lot of private equity companies, they make it all about the money. Well, in private equity, when the money's gone, everybody's gone, right? And so, but not one has been able to cast a vision of what Jason has, and that's what I've latched onto. I shared it at the leadership retreat. Josiah's in now, and I was number two for whatever 8 years, and Josiah's coming in, and there's a change there's a change in the structure. And so it rightfully so, and I encouraged it and I welcomed it. So, but the vision hasn't changed. I didn't latch on to a position. I didn't latch on to a title.
Yeah.
I've latched on to a vision.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah.
long as the vision stays the same, we're good. So I'm just anchored by the vision. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Hey, we want to give a shout out to Charlie and Jeremy and
Wow.
Alex. Hey guys, thanks for joining in. Hey, you know what I
Hmm.
want to do? So think about this, contractors, and here's what typically happens. We have an employee. They started out as a great employee, and then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but one day we look up and we feel like they're lazy, they don't care, they're disengaged, they have a bad work ethic. and we want to point the finger at them. But what we need to do is we need to start pointing the finger right in the mirror and seeing what we did to contribute to that. And so many times it's because we brought someone in, we hired them. Maybe they're a great person. We put them in a position that's not made for them. It's not a good fit, but we didn't know any different. So we bring them in. And then we give them a compensation plan that's not connected to performance. And so now they're a drain on the bottom line. They're not as productive because they're in a role that they're not good at, that they're not attracted to. And so they're not doing a good job. They're not engaged. And we end up writing them off, saying that they're lazy or bad work ethic or whatever. And it's just more times than not, look, I work with contractors every day. And I see them making the same mistakes that I made back in my early days. And that's why Contractor Freedom exists, is to help fix this situation. So what happens, you'll hire a family member or a friend, and we're hiring them because they're loyal, they're blood, they're friends since childhood. And let me tell you what happens. It ends up wasting profits and then burning a relationship because we didn't understand what we were doing. It ought not to be that
not
way
only
for us.
that, but we didn't one of the things, guys, that over the years, when I've lost a project consultant or lost a teammate, whatever department, what team I was a member of, and I come in and I walk into Jason's office. Well, they didn't want to run the scripts. They didn't want to do this, and I tell them everything that's wrong. And if I in 100% honesty and transparency, Jason just looks at me and he goes, "Well, where did you fail him? What did you do?"
That's hard.
And it's a hard word. It's a hard word. And so, yeah, a lot of it is where did you fail in his training?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you fail in whatever? But yeah, it's you got to look in the mirror for sure. It is painful. It's painful.
All right, guys, I'm about to share some gold with you guys. Joe, you're absolutely right. I'm going to share my screen with you to start, okay? And let's see here. So I hope you're on a device where you can see this or zoom into it. The culture at your company is vital. And here's the deal. The purpose of culture is not to make people feel good. The purpose of culture is to drive the behaviors that win. But now let's look at the purpose of leadership. The purpose of leadership. Why is leadership important? Why is it important? So we already answered, why is culture important? That's to drive the behaviors that win. Why is leadership important? The purpose of leadership is the transformation of people, culture, and results from what they are into what they could and should be. To the transformation of people, the transformation of culture, the transformation of results from what they are into what they could and should be. That's why you need to become a leader. And let me tell you another reason. Why should they be that way? Because if you don't become a good leader, you're going to be stuck at the grindstone until you finally give up, till you sacrifice your family, your health, your hobbies. That's what your business is going to do. Your business is going to take you and it's going to suck you dry. Even if it provides for you financially, it's going to suck your time and suck your soul away. That's what it does. So I'm here to show you a better way. Leadership has the power to change everything. It has the power to change everything. So what does it mean? What does it look like to be a good leader? Well, I'm going to show you. Here's a couple things. We're going to zoom in. We're going to zoom in right here. If I can zoom in properly. Where's my zoom in? I may have to go get my, oh wait, here we go. There we go. Great leaders. Here's the thing. Friends, if you want a team that you can count on, a team that you can count on to do the right thing when you're not looking. A team that you can count on to drive the business. Then you have to become the leader that they can believe in. The leader that they can believe in. And here's the other thing I want to mention to you. All of your employees, they have this thing called discretionary energy. Discretionary energy. They can come to work. They can do the minimum. They can do the minimum to not get fired. They can do the basic expectations. Or they could pour all of their discretionary energy into driving results and the vision of your company. And that is going to make a huge difference in your business. I was just on the line with a coaching client today. We were talking about compensation for one of his people, and he's describing to me all of the things. And here's the job description, and here's all these other things that this person does that they don't get paid for, but they just do them because they care. Friends, you can't pay people to care in your business. You can buy their hands with a paycheck, but you have to earn their hearts by being a good leader. Only leadership earns their hearts. This is why leadership is important. Leadership is vital. So I'm going to share with you basically 5 or 6 traits of what I consider to be great leaders. And the first one is this: vision. Can you see this? I'll zoom in a little bit. Vision. The vision for your company. If people can't see the future through you, they won't follow you into it. Can you articulate where your company is going? What's that future that you're building? Can you articulate that? Oh gosh, I'm yelling.
Yeah,
I'm not going to. I am, aren't I? I'm not going to apologize.
Well, okay, fine.
This is important. This is important. I'm going to get triggered. I'm kind of already triggered. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Are you even clear on what you want in your business? Are you clear? Do you know what it is? Why does your business exist? What is it going to look like when you've built it? Can you connect today's work to tomorrow's win? Can your team explain your company vision without you in the room? Can your team explain what winning looks like this year? And does your vision include a better future for them too? More security, more opportunity. Oh, Charlie, I love you. You're my favorite person. You get the Viewer of the Night award. He said,
Charlie, you're encouraging them. You're encouraging them, Charlie.
Charlie says, we're going to put that on the screen. Charlie said, you're yelling, yes, welcome for me. Right. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Well, Jason, when you're saying that, can they do that? The clarity of your vision, like for me, just what I was sharing, clarity for your vision builds confidence. In confident teams, that's the ones that execute.
That's right.
So clarity builds confidence. Confidence teams execute. So yeah.
And guys, forgive me if I talk a little fast. We've only got an hour here tonight, and I want to share some nuggets with you. I want you to walk out of this event, this online live right here, and I want you to feel like, man, I know what I need to do next. I know what I need to work on. So here's the next thing. In addition to vision, great leaders are competent. There's 2 types of competence, 2 main types of competence. One is, we're going to start with this one, their business skills. And what this is the science side of business. Financial literacy. Do you understand your numbers? Do you know your strategy? Do you know how to allocate resources? Do you know how to build repeatable systems that win and win and win again? Do you know and understand the numbers in your business? Does your business run you, or do you run it? And here's the thing. Your good intentions and your big heart as a leader don't inspire confidence in people. You know what inspires confidence? Capability. Your capability inspires confidence in them. And I get it. None of us came into this business with all of the competence and the skills that we needed. But if you're not intentionally growing in these skills, if you're out there thinking that, hey, I need to be the first one to work, I need to work the hardest, I need to set the example, I need to be on the ladder, I need to do the job and show them how to do the job. Guess what you're not doing when you're doing their job? You're abdicating your responsibility to be the leader. If you're not being the leader, then there is a vacuum of leadership. So at some point, you've got to say, hey, team, I'd love to sit there and help you with this hard work or finish. I'd love to help you wrap this house up after dark. But guess what? Someone's got to go sell another job. Someone's got to make sure that tomorrow's a better day for us. You don't need to impress your people with how hard you work, okay? Now, business skills. Here's the other competence you need, soft skills. This is the art side of business. Do you know how to communicate? Because your clarity will beat the charisma. Do you know how to deal with conflict management, or do you avoid hard conversations? Do you know how to influence people, or do you just move them with force? Are you a boss? Are you just a boss? Come on, guys. If this is hitting home, I want you to drop a comment. Just tell me. Drop a comment. Give me an amen. Give me a thumbs up. Or you can give me a thumbs down, too, if you don't like it. Tell me you hate it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you the truth is what I'm telling you. Okay? Do tough conversations at your place, do those get handled or postponed? And here's the other one, okay? Do people leave conversations with you clearer or more confused? I call that, the negative end of that, I call that whirlwind leadership. We may talk more about that in a minute. Yeah, so that's it. That's the next thing.
Yeah, confusion will erode belief faster than failure.
Boom. That's right.
You know, it's, yeah.
So we got vision and competence. Where's your competence in your soft skills? Where's your competence in your business skills? How's your vision? If you had to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Now here's the next thing. Okay, we're gonna meddle right now. Character. If you want the team that you can count on, you've got to become the leader they can believe in. And there's a number of levels of character. Here's what character is. Character is who you are when it costs you something. When it costs you something. One time we had a client post a glowing review for us on social media. And we had replaced all the siding on this 2-story side of the house with a big gable. It was real tall, all this siding, and she posted the picture. How beautiful, thank you, Phillips, home improvements, blah, blah, blah. And one of our team posted it in the chat.
No, she posted it in her chat.
She posted it on Facebook, and one of our people posted it in our chat, right? Yeah. Uh-huh. And my next comment was, who was the project manager here? And I could hear butts pucker. Let me tell you what happened. The crew didn't do the job right. I could tell from the picture. And I wanted to know who approved that workmanship. And I told the manager, I said, you send that project manager out there tomorrow, rip every bit of that siding off, and fix it right. It wasn't installed right.
No. He called me at 8:30 in the morning. Called me at 8:30 in the morning. Joe,
yeah,
they're gonna rip it off. Yeah,
it costs us something.
Yeah,
it costs us something to do that. Okay, what is your character? Are you watering down the paint? Are you putting cash in your pocket to avoid taxes? What message is that sending to your client? What message is that sending to your employees? Now you may think, oh, it's a broken tax system. I'm just going to, they're going to get me. I'm going to get them. Fine, you can argue that. But I can tell you right now, the message it's sending to the people around you is that you have a crack in your integrity. That's what you have. Okay? Now the next thing in character is, are you consistent? Do you show up one day as a hothead, yelling, like me? Okay. Do your people know who's going to show up? Do your rules change based on who's in the room? Is your accountability predictable or unpredictable? Do people feel like you're singling them out? Do people feel, oh man, some people don't like to hear this, but do your people feel psychologically safe around you because you're steady and they know who to expect? Okay.
If they don't know which version of you is walking in, they'll never fully walk with you.
They're always going to be scared and they're going to hold back.
Yeah.
So there's the next part. Ownership. Do you take responsibility before assigning it? Here's the thing. Publicly, great leaders take less than their fair share of the credit and more than their fair share of the blame. That's what they do. Okay? Do you own your mistakes? Or does your team constantly see you deflecting and saying it was his fault or her fault or whatever it was? No. Leaders take responsibility. They're owners. They take the ownership. And if you go out on a customer, say something went wrong on a job, do you blame it on your employee? Oh, my employee, I'm going to have to fire him. Or, oh, we've got these new guys. Or, this generation. Do you say that kind of stuff? Because guess what? Your customer didn't hire your employee. They hired you. That's who they hired. It's your name on that business. It's your name that signs the checks, and it's your responsibility. Don't throw your people under the bus, ever, 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 ever. And when you own it, your people will start owning their own mistakes too. Okay? Another part, this is all character, your humility. Are you secure enough to be honest? And maybe you're insecure, so therefore you don't take ownership. Maybe you feel like that you've got to be the smartest or the best in your company. Look, hey, let me tell you what, newsflash, Jason doesn't want to be the best. Jason got sick of being Superman in his company a long time ago. I'm like, hey, Joe, can you be Superman for a while? I don't want to be Superman anymore. I need a Superman in sales. Can you be Superman over there? Okay, Jennifer, can you be Superman over here? Josiah, can you be Superman over there? I don't want to be Superman because I can't be Superman everywhere. And Superman gets tired. Superman, what's a vacation? What's up, Scott? Oh man!
Don't encourage him, Scott. Scott, please.
I just hope my wife isn't watching. If Rochelle's watching, I don't know if she's watching. Okay,
That's funny.
so does your team? Do they feel safe bringing you bad news? All right, let's keep going. We're still on character. Oh man! Oh, there's a big one. Reliability. Reliability. Oh, she's on here. She's taking notes. Rochelle just said she's on here. I'm in trouble. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So here's what happens. Hey, we're gonna review we're gonna give you an annual review for a raise next month, next month, next month, next month, and it never happens. Your credibility, your reliability. Or I promise I'm going to get this detail to you. And here's what happens. Good intentioned owners and managers with good intentions ruin their credibility as a leader because their people can't count on them to do what they say. Can your people count on you? I would bet right now, if you start thinking, you probably have someone on your team right now that you've let down and it's bugging you because you haven't followed through with them because you've been too busy in the whirlwind of running your business. Who do you owe something to? Maybe that's your takeaway tonight, is to go follow through and close the loop and deliver the conversation, set the meeting, deliver the report, whatever it is. Maybe that's your one thing tonight that's going to make a difference and help you gain more credibility and buy-in from your people.
John Maxwell says leadership credibility is earned through the small, boring, repeated moments.
Oh my gosh, ain't that true? Okay, ain't that
Oh
true?
man, I'm loving
Now,
this.
in addition to character and competence and vision, okay, we're going to come down to connection. Okay, great leaders connect with their people. Look, you've heard this 1,000 times. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Do you connect with your people, or do you just bark orders and go back to your hole? And you go back to the grindstone, proving that you're the best and you're the only one that can sell or paint or whatever it is. Do you listen more than you talk? Do you know your people as humans and not a head count? When someone leaves your company, whether they got fired or they quit, do they still respect you as a leader? That's a hard one. That's a hard one, friends. Okay? Daniel said, I'm telling everybody this year that I don't want to be Superman. Are you tired of it too? Come on, if you're tired of Superman, just say Superman. I don't need to be a Superman anymore, okay? You know, in the early days, it feels good to be a Superman. You can be the first one there. You can be the first one to solve a problem. When the company chat and if someone asks a question, you can be the first one to answer. And pretty soon people are like, I don't even need to think anymore because, Daniel's just going to hop in and give the answer. So as a leader, you've got to create a vacuum. You've got to stop answering those questions for a while and let someone else, let your other team begin to rise. Let them fill that gap. You can't fill the whole room. Now, in addition to connection, there's this thing called compassion. There's a difference between connecting with your people and caring about your people. Here's what compassion says. It says, I see your situation, or your pain or your struggle, and I feel compelled to do something about it. Whether that's they're failing in their job, or they've got something going on at home, or a sickness, they lost a loved one, whatever it is. Do you actually care, and do you actually help or do you feel compelled? So, connection, that feels, but the compassion acts. It acts. Do you take steps to help people? Now, let's get real on something though. Here's what compassion is not. It's not rescuing people. It's not lowering your bar of standards, and it's not avoiding hard truths. Compassion helps people grow stronger and not more dependent. Okay? Now here's the last trait before we move on. Is great leaders create clarity. In addition to getting clear on your vision, here's 7 things, 6 more things that leaders create clarity on, in no particular order. What does it take to get promoted around here or fired around here? Is that clear? Compensation. How do I hit my incentives? Am I ever going to get incentives? Can I ever have a performance review? Hey, is the day after Thanksgiving a company holiday? How about another one? What's the most important thing right now for the company? What does winning look like in my role? What does winning look like for the team this year? And it's one thing to speak clearly. It's another thing to write it down clearly. And it's a totally different thing to ensure that clarity has been transferred, communicated. And the simple way to ensure that clarity has been transferred is like, let's say you're having a conversation, whether you're delegating someone or correcting their behavior, whatever it is. You could just say something like this. Hey, I just want to be sure that I've communicated clearly. Sometimes I'm not so great at communicating clearly, but could you just repeat back to me in your own words what success here looks like and what the deadline is? And let them speak it in their words. And if they can't speak it in their words in a way that is what you meant to say, then you need to clean that up before you go on. It's pretty simple. But here's the thing. Most of you fast-paced leaders, you don't take the time for that. You go and you vomit words and go on to your next thing. You run out the door. You're a whirlwind. I know most of you. Most of you are a whirlwind. Not all of you, but most of you are. Come on now. Own it. Just say whirlwind if that's you.
And many times we hire people like us, and because we can endure hard, our people can endure hard, right? But they can't endure uncertainty. They can endure hard,
That's
but they
good,
can't
Joe.
endure uncertainty, and
That's good.
that's where the lack of trust starts coming in.
Look, friends, clarity compounds faster than motivation ever will. Motivation's like a bottle rocket. Inspiration. It's going to last for today, it's going to be gone tomorrow. But when you create clarity, you're going to get compound. Sean Brady says whirlwind. Now, Jeremy says, I'm an SC, no whirlwind here. Okay, good for you, sir. That is wonderful. Good for you. You've got different problems. We all got the problems. We all have got strengths and superpowers, and we all have weaknesses and blind sides. Now, the high D people, their blind side is they become bulldozers. They bulldoze people. That's what they do. I mean, they don't mean to. They just do it. It's natural. They think they're just communicating passionately, and other people think they're angry and yelling. Kind of like what you probably think about me right now. I'm angry and yelling. I'm passionate because this is important, and I'm hoping that you will get the gravity of what I'm trying to tell you here. Okay? So, someone ask a question. Ask a question. Whether you're on Instagram or Facebook, ask a question in the chat. I'm going to see if I can. All right, anybody over? No questions on Instagram. Thank you for the comment, Justin, over on Instagram. Then over here on Facebook, Scott says, motivation is fleeting, discipline is consistent. I like that. Yeah. I like that. All right, no questions. No questions. Okay, here, Scott's got a question. And he says, how do you manage the stress of scaling your business? Well, that's actually a great question. Let me turn my screen share off here. Beep, beep. Let me tell you. Now, here's one of the things that leaders carry a heavy load. There's not even before the stress of scaling your business, there's the stress of maintaining your business. Employees, you know what comes with employees? Problems, drama. When you have employees, you're going to carry burdens that aren't yours to carry, but you're going to be a mentor, a shoulder to cry on sometimes. You're going to have to deal with the drama that they have in their life when they bring it to work because it's impacting their work or their attendance or something like that. Payroll, legal problems, project-related issues, customer problems, taxes, compliance, OSHA, whatever all those things are. There's a ton of stuff. And then there's all of these, we have general liability insurance and such, but then there's all of these areas that you're self-insured on. You probably don't even realize most of them. So how do you deal with the stress? Well, most business owners can handle a lot of stress. And then you know what they do? They go home and they let it out on their family. That's what they do. They go home and they bottled it all up all day, and then they're home with their family. And well, now my family, they're the ones that know me the most. I can take the guard down. I don't have to be nice to all of them. They can see the real me. And then we just vomit. We bring stress and chaos into our homes. And I'm going to tell you the number one way that I deal with stress. There's a couple ways. One is I'll hug my wife and squeeze her for a long time and look in her eyes. Another one is I'll grab my wife and say, honey, we're going for a ride. And we'll go get in one of my cars and we'll put the top down and we'll go drive around town. That's very therapeutic for me. But the most powerful one is I know that I can bring all of my burdens to God. I know that He cares, and I know that no matter what, He's going to see me through it. God never promised us that it was going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And the other piece of that is, so one, God is my peace. And the other piece of that is, I know that I've been given a vision by God on what I'm to do with my business and my life and how my business serves my life. And I can deal with it. So Scott, that's my answer. And, for any of you guys that are dealing with that, I get it's real. It's real. I don't know one successful business owner. I don't know one successful business owner that hasn't been on the brink of bankruptcy before, at least once. So, Joe?
Well, I was just going to say from a different perspective, from an employee perspective, over the years, I've watched Jason and I've been privileged enough to be close to him during hard times at Phillips, and I can tell you what not to do. Is the old commercial, never let them see sweat. Jason. I'm not on all these calls. I don't know everything that he shared, but I can tell you there's been some very, very hard times, and he maintains his being positive. He maintains his confidence, and maintains his if I 100% trust that Jason's not going to let the wheels fall off. COVID was probably a real scary time for all of us, those of you who were in business. But, stress, I've watched, and I can tell when Jason's stressed. I mean, probably Rochelle could chime in on this as well. But when it comes to the team, they have to have confidence in the leadership of the company, because the uncertainty of tough times can, crush culture, crush dreams. Because everybody that comes to work for Phillips, I can't tell you, man, I just want to stay here forever, and they're building their lives based around that. So when it comes to stress, the only thing I would advise, just as an employee, as a team member, is the team knows if the company's going through, but don't let them see you go through the rough time. Does that make sense? That makes sense. Yeah.
Leaders absorb the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
They don't hide the truth, but they absorb the pressure. Now,
right.
Now Daniel says the hardest thing for me was working towards being a better leader. I was a terrible leader when I was smaller, doing managing and sales myself. I didn't know I had to grow till I started hiring managers and sales guys and building a team that was really hard to want to grow and be a better person. Finding new painters and firing people was easy, but building a team and keeping the team was something I was never taught or good at. Dude, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Daniel, because leadership should be taught. And here's something I've told my kids, not that I'm the wise old owl. I'm maybe a little old now, maybe a little more wisdom. But I've told my kids since they were little, if you will forever be a student of sales, leadership, and people skills, you'll always be able to make money in any economy. In any economy. And I've always encouraged my kids to study those things. And by the way, I have determined that I am a student of leadership and sales and people skills for the rest of my life. And about 12, 13 years ago, during a prayer time, God told me that learning people skills was going to be a key to what he had me do, a key to my success and a key to what he had me doing in the future. And I can tell you right now, I work with a lot of contractors. And the number one problem that they're dealing with is people issues. And helping them, and I'm transferring people skills to them, teaching them about the DISC model of human behavior and the predictable nature of people and how to create clarity with people and align people with the roles in their company and create clear roles that are connected to KPIs with the compensation. And it's making a huge difference in people's lives, in the lives of the employees, in the lives of the owners, in the lives of and in the profit of the business as well. So be a student of people skills. Now, if you guys haven't been to one of our Contractor Freedom events before, you should come. They are absolutely transformational. Whether it's a sales boot camp, whether it's a summit, a leadership retreat, a management boot camp, a marriage retreat, our events are transformational. And I don't say that pridefully. I say that with humility, but with honesty. If you're looking to step up as a leader, the first thing to do is come to one of our events, okay? You can come to one of our next event. Well, we have a sales boot camp coming up at the end of March. But then in May, we have a management boot camp. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between leadership and management. And I'm going to show you real quick here. Managers, or leading, defines vision and purpose, and management executes. Leaders build belief and alignment. Managers build systems and accountability. Leaders think in long terms. Managers, they operate daily. And we could just keep going. But friends, in your business, in small business, you have to be a leader and you have to be a manager. And the key is knowing who you need to be in any given situation. That's the key.
That's the key.
You know?
Yeah.
So, Joe, what do you think about management? What have you learned about management?
This is a trick question. This is a trick question. Management is necessary. It's a necessary evil, right? No, management's definitely necessary. But at Phillips, we have leaders. We, like me, I'm a leader in the company, but I'm also a manager in managing the sales team, and so I tend to lead towards a lot of the leadership part of it because it's fun for me. And I don't want to say it's easy for me, but I too am a student of leadership. But
well, heck, you even got a certification, Joe.
Yeah, I do. I got one up on the wall here somewhere, like there. Yeah, but I'm a huge Maxwell fan. I love leadership. It's one of the things I love about Jason. But the management part is it's a maturation for me. I have to learn as a manager more and more every day because I don't have problems having difficult conversations and stuff. They're just not fun. And so, but management is I don't want to say it's not fun because I don't want to say it's fun or not fun. It's just a part of my job that I need a lot of growth in, and a lot of I need a lot of prayer, guys. But the leadership part, man, I love. But we have to do both. That's why we're called leaders at Phillips,
right.
because most of the leaders, we got to come up with the systems. We've got to do these things, but we still have to hold our people accountable. And they want to know if you are. They want to know if you're devoted to being a manager. You know what I mean? I don't want to be accountable because I know he doesn't like holding me accountable. And so what I've learned is that people, even recently in the last 13, 14 months, people will follow my direction when they trust my devotion. In other words, ride-alongs, or things like that with sales guys. When they see that I'm devoted to them rather than just managing them, you got to do better. You got to raise that cold plate. You got to do all that. But when they see me devoted, they'll follow the direction when they can trust the devotion. That's what I'll.
Yeah, they can see that you care. They can see your heart.
They can see that you care.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's good, Joe.
Yeah.
Daniel said we're coming to. Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of the things that the Humberto said. He told me in Mexico was, man, the biggest thing. In fact, he called me afterwards. He said, man, the biggest takeaway I got from Mexico was when you said the team doesn't need perfection, they need your presence. And that really blessed me that he said it. But that's what I've learned throughout my career too.
That's
I
good.
but if we're just presence and they trust our devotion, they will follow. They'll follow.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
Go ahead.
right.
Daniel said what now?
Oh, I was just going to say, Daniel said he's coming to the manager retreat, but Daniel, the registration closed earlier today, and I didn't see you on the list. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hey, we got Danny's on with us. Hey, Danny, thanks for dropping in and saying hey. So, look, we've only got a couple more minutes here, just a couple minutes. Determine something you can do right now, or that you can do tomorrow. Not just to become a better leader, but to be the leader that one of your people needs tomorrow. There's probably a gap somewhere between who you've been and who you're going to be tomorrow. And if you've been a bad leader or a toxic leader, you know what you can do? You can own it. And you can say something like this: hey, team. Maybe it's a team, or maybe it's a one-on-one. It could be either. Hey guys, I discovered something. I've been doing some hard thinking. I haven't been the leader that this team needs. And I know that you deserve a better leader. And that future vision that we have, it's going to require me to be a better leader. And I want you to know, team, I'm committed to being the leader that you need. I'm committed to that. I'm going to lead. I'm going to create more clarity. And I've got some clarity gaps to close up, guys. I've got to close the loop with you guys. We got to make some clarity in this area and that area. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to set the direction, create the clarity, so you know exactly where to focus fire. Okay, I believe in you, and I hope you'll believe in me. I'm going to do better. You can just have a simple conversation. You can just have a simple conversation like that and start off. Okay?
Fix the consistency, carry the weight, and clear the fog.
There it is. That's good. That's good. All right, team. God bless you. We'll see you guys again. I'll be back online next Thursday. God bless.